Hey folks, welcome back to another HP Gaming and GameLINK video. I am super pumped. The time is now with No Way Home out in cinemas and Mad Titan's Shadow, Sinister Motives coming out soon. It's finally time to get back to some Marvel Champions stuff for the LCG. Today we're going to be exploring a hero pack with a bit of a femme fatale. We're going to be exploring some crazy cards, trying to fight back against our father as we explore the Gamora Hero Pack for Marvel Champions, the card game. Hey folks, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. If you're new to the channel, hello or welcome. If you are one of our subscribers, thank you so much for your support and welcome back as well. We haven't done a Marvel video in a while, partly because of lockdowns, partly because of other craziness and shipping delays and everything else as well. But here in Australia, we are finally happy to announce that we're back into the thick of it and getting back into some Marvel Champions. As I said at the outset, we are exploring Gamora today. We have Venom, we have Star-Lord, we have a ton of stuff coming up. Obviously, the release of No Way Home has reignited Marvel Champions LCG. The Sinister Motives expansion is currently available for pre-order. Mad Titan has started shipping finally, thank goodness for that. So we're super pumped to see where these packs take us. What I might do first is take out, because obviously we know that inside here there is a few extra bits and pieces. It's never just the cards. There is obviously the display deck as well, so I'm just going to rip that out of there, the display poster I should say, and we'll take a look at that before we get in close to have a look at the cards. Now, the one thing I will say, I do dig the bit of explanation on the rules, deck list, that sort of stuff, and of course the artwork is similar to what you saw on the box. It is this beautiful, amazing poster of Gamora doing her thing, smacking on, taking names, and generally being just a genuine green badass, which is fantastic. On the back, it talks about the hero pack and some of the different aggression aspects. Aggression plus, that's interesting. Aggression plus. Before we go any further, let's get in close and take a look at what this is all about. And here we are. There is Gamora's pack there, looking all wonderful. It's almost like it's a planet, but it looks like a Death Star with the LCG logo there, which is fantastic. Now, the artwork, I mean, again, it just looks boss. Look at that. She's definitely meaning business. But on the back here, we've got the information about the Gamora pack, attack or thwart, etc., the events and things that are on there. And it talks about how to, which cards are actually part of it. But then you've got this aggression plus, lethal training and martial prowess to take down enemies and end their malicious plots, attack or thwart attack events, etc. Clobber, this is basically talks about the different cards and how that works. But it also looks like aggression plus because it looks like there's some protection cards in there. So maybe it talks a bit about how to best build and combine your cards to make a perfect deck. Let's put Gamora there. Let's open up and get into the cards because that's what we're all here for. Now, I know we are doing this a little bit later than I would have liked. Obviously, a lot of people have already covered Gamora, have already used her in deck building, that sort of stuff. But you know what? I'm consistent. I want to make sure that I cover as many packs as I can. And I want to know from you as well, if you've had a chance to take Gamora out for a spin, plastic always goes on the floor, then, what's your take on Gamora? Have you had many successes? Have you struggled with her? How does that sort of work in your building, in your collections? Now I look here, and there's actually, if I'm very, very clever, you can see there's a lot of other things here that have multiple aspect colors, which is very interesting. I'm not quite sure. Now that's obviously the deck divider cards. So these are cards for other decks and other packs that we can use. So I'll put them to the side. This is the Gamora deck, but you can see multiple aspects are included here. So that's interesting, very interesting indeed. Let's have a look. Let's get in close and take a look at the cards. There she is. Gamora, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense, all-rounder, we like it. Hand size of 5, these are hit points of 10. After you play an attack event, remove 1 threat from a scheme limit once per phase. That's handy, get some crazy attacks. And then you've got precision. After you play a thwart event, deal 1 damage. So she's sort of a multitasker across the board, which is awesome. And then you've got her alter ego form, which is an outlaw, skilled tactician. You may include up to 6 attack and or thwart events in your deck from aspects other than your chosen aspect. Well, there you go. That's what the build is all about. Recovers 3. Look at the top card of your deck. If that card is an attack or thwart event, you get to draw it for free. That is fantastic. And a hand limit of 6 on the card there. Then we've got Nebula, who's a guardian. Now, obviously, this is an interesting one, as you'll see later. When Nebula enters play, search your deck for an attack or thwart event and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. I like that because, of course, obviously, you can get those attack and thwart events that allow you to do multiple things. Acrobatic move, attack event, hero action, deal 2 damage to an enemy. And then, of course, when you play the attack event, you get to remove a threat from a scheme. That's cool. There it is as well. A cross counter, hero interrupt. When you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of that damage, deal 1 damage to an enemy, remove 1 threat from a scheme. Now, that is an attack and thwart event. So you could use that potentially to do one of those attack or thwart, finesse or precision schemes as well. I like that. Lots of crazy antics and combos going on here. Remove 1 threat from a scheme, and then obviously do damage to an enemy as well. Wow. Decisive blow. Deal 4 damage to an enemy, 7 damage instead if you've played a thwart event this turn. And it costs you 2. Wow. Okay. That's going to cause some serious damage. I like that. Forward momentum, thwart, remove 3 threat from a scheme, 5 instead if you've played an attack event this turn. So ideally you want to get these cards from her deck into play straight away, because obviously as soon as you've got them in your hand, you can combo them to do some massive damage. Alter ego action in the conditioning room, exhaust conditioning room, return the bottommost attack or thwart event from your discard pile to your hand, heal 1 damage from Gamora. Keen Instincts, which is an upgrade. Exhaust Keen Instincts, a wild resource for an attack or thwart event. So there you go, you can get that out, similar to Cap's ability cards where you can generate resources. And then you've got a couple of those there. Is that max 1 per deck? No, it's not. So you can get both of those upgrades out and do some serious damage. Gamora's Sword, max 2 restricted cards per player. After you play an attack event, deal 1 damage to an enemy, just because. There's Angela. There you go. After Angela enters play under your control, search the top 10 cards of the encounter deck for a minion and put it into play engaged with you. Shuffle the encounter deck. If no minion was not going to discard Angela. So she has to be, taking the fight to everybody. 2 attack, 3 health. Clobber. Hero action, deal 3 damage to an enemy. If this is the first card you've played this round, return this card to your hand. Wow. So if you had a massive amount of resources, you could attack with that twice in 1 turn. And then do 6 damage. And there's a few of those there. Plan of attack, there's Star-Lord. Search the top 4 cards of your deck, 7 instead if you're in alter ego form. For an attack event, add that to your hand. And that costs you 0. I like that. It's Masterful Tactician. Uppercut we know and love, deal 5 damage to an enemy. First hit, so here these cards obviously are from different aspects. Hero action, deal 2 damage to the villain. Hero interrupt, when a minion initiates an attack, deal 2 damage to that minion. So it depends on, obviously, the situation at hand as to whether or not you're getting attacked by a minion, etc. Then you've got Impede. Remove 3 threat from the main scheme. If this is the first card you've played this round, return this card to your hand. Lots of ways to do damage and remove threat, which I kind of dig. She's like a staple. Then you've got Combat Training to give her that extra boost. Godslayer, weapon, restricted. When your hero makes a basic attack against a unique enemy, exhaust Godslayer, your hero gets +2 for that attack. Wow. Oh, there he is, Drax. Play only if your identity has the Guardian trait. Drax cannot attack minions because he's all about smashing the boss in the face. Hit and run. Hero action, attack, thwart, deal 2 damage to an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme. Wow. Is Gamora OP? What do we think? I know she's only got 10 hit points, but at the same time, I just want to think, if you've played with Gamora before, what do you think? Is she getting a bit too powerful now? I mean, I don't know. There's her obligation. Unfulfilled destiny. There we go. Choose and discard 2 events from your hand. Discard this obligation. And then, of course, we have the cards from her Nemesis set. Now, it's interesting because she's got the ally card for Nebula in there, but her Nemesis is actually someone we know and love, Nebula. Go figure. Elite Scoundrel. When this minion would enter play, discard the Nebula ally from play. Wow. So if you have Nebula on the board, and then this one comes up because you have to shuffle in your obligations or whatever, you actually swap sides. Nebula switches sides and becomes an enemy. And she's got to retaliate too. Oh my gosh. Bonkers. And then you've got here Sibling Rivalry, which is her side scheme. Players other than Gamora cannot remove threat from Sibling Rivalry. After the villain phase begins, deal 1 face down encounter card to Gamora. Wow. Don't know what that would come into play. My gosh, absolute chaos. Then we've got In a Bind attached to Gamora. Treat Gamora's printed text box as if it were blank except for traits. Choose and discard an attack event from your hand and deal 1 damage to Gamora to discard this card. Then you've got Waylaid. When revealed, stun and confuse Gamora. If Gamora is already stunned and confused, this card gains Surge. And they have 2 icons. Nebula has 3 boost icons, 3 boost icons. Wow. Wow. Okay, so avoiding that obligation at all costs is definitely, not so much the obligation, Shadows of the Past, that nasty card that brings those side decks into play into the encounter deck. Wow, massive, massive, messy business indeed. There's the Aggression Plus aspect cards and obviously the deck list for Gamora. And these cards we're going to look at now are just the bonus cards you can use for deck building options within all of your Marvel Champions collection. So we have Pivotal Moment. Hero action. Deal 2 damage to the villain, 5 damage instead if there is no threat on the main scheme. So that's 2 damage to the villain, which is fine. But if you have dealt that or taken care of the threat, that'll be more damage, which is fantastic. Obviously, Rocket is doing his crazy thing there. Then you have Comms Implant attached to a Guardian ally, max 1 per ally. Each attached ally gets +1 thwart and +1 hit point. Ooh, I kind of like that. That's very cool. True Grit. There's a bit of Luke Cage action there for you. Response thwart. After your hero defends against an enemy attack, remove threat from a scheme equal to your hero's thwart value. So effectively, it's a free thwart effect for 1 resource. Obviously, there's conditions there. And then you've got Enhanced Reflexes. Uses 3 energy counters, hero resource. Exhaust Enhanced Reflexes and remove 1 energy counter from it. Generate a lightning or a science resource. It's energy resource, I think that's what it is. I can never remember the symbols. Yellow resource. And there it is. Let's come out and talk about some first impressions, and then we'll talk about more about what's coming up in the future for us for Marvel Champions. And there it is, the contents of the Gamora Hero Pack for Marvel Champions LCG, or the card game. I am impressed with Gamora. I was not sure if I'd look, all the different packs have all the different pros and cons, I guess, in terms of the pre-built deck. But I wasn't expecting the fact that you get benefits from doing those events. So attack event obviously allows you to thwart, and a thwart event allows you to do damage. So I think if you can avoid bringing out the Nebula Nemesis set, you're in for a hell of a time with Gamora. I think combine her with Rocket, with his crazy ass guns, Groot with his healing prowess, Gamora's a force to be reckoned with, and I'm kind of digging that. Chicks rule. So we did a poll on TikTok, Star-Lord, Gamora, who was your favourite? Star-Lord had the better soundtrack, I think, which is why he was sitting so high up. But I will say, Gamora is still getting votes here and there. So if you haven't checked that out on TikTok, by all means, jump over on TikTok and have your say. If you've used Gamora, as I said during the unboxing, I guess, the unsleeving, who knows what you want to call it. If you've used Gamora, I'd love to hear your thoughts about how she plays. Can you make those combos work? Can you make to get the clobber card out to do double damage per turn? Have you used the plan ahead to try and structure your deck to make it work? Have you built a deck using Gamora's cards? What aspects did you use? I'm intrigued to see how it all goes, and obviously have a look at all the different decks that people put together for this wonderful game. Mad Titan Shadow, the unboxing for that is not too far away. We've got unboxings for Star-Lord, Venom, Nebula is coming out, and of course Sinister Motives hopefully will be here by the end of March, and when it arrives you better believe we'll be getting an unboxing done for that one. Charlotte is going back to school in the not too distant future, so I'm hoping she'll be able to join us for the unboxing of the Mad Titan's Shadow. It is contingent on our junior gamer. Thanks again to all of our Patreon subscribers, all of our subscribers out there in YouTube land as well. We really appreciate it. If you are new to the channel and you want to know more and like what we're doing, smash that subscribe button for me. It's a small action from you, but it means a lot to me and to Charlotte and to the rest of us here at HB Gaming. We will be back with more, as I said, Mad Titan's Shadow coming up, Arkham Horror Redux, which is a bit of a buyer's guide, revisiting the buyer's guide now that all the packaging is changing and the different cycles are changing. So look out for that. And of course, a couple more playthroughs and other bits and pieces on the way as well. We will see you back at the table very soon. No matter where you're in the world, please be kind to one another, play lots more games. We'll see you back here very soon for more awesome content. Until then though, it is bye for now.